Ty Talk with Webb is back, baby. Been a long week. Sorry I hadn't got a video out sooner. Big week. I know a lot of people are in the Bama universe are overlooking Missouri. I wouldn't do that so quick. And here's some reasons and stats why. Defensively, Missouri ranks top number one total defense. They're only giving up 198 yards per game. They are third in stop percentage, which means they get 21% of all stops. They are fourth nationally in the total offense that they can produce. Also, they're seventh points per game. They're getting 45.2 points per game. Big stuff. Now, they're averaging pass per game, passing offensively 255.6, and they're rushing per game 292. That is big. Now, I know some of y'all, we're going to go through it in a minute here. Well, they haven't played nobody. Okay. I'll give you that, some of that. They played some okay guys. But their quarterback, Bo Pribula, is actually really good. He's a transfer from Penn State, dual threat guy. Right now, as it stands, he's top 14 out of all quarterbacks nationally, okay? And this should scare you a little bit too. He's 75.9, almost 80% in completions per play. And he leads the SEC out of all quarterbacks, and he's third nationally. He's also put up 1,200 yards. Now, he's a dual threat guy. My thing is, okay, you look at the defensive stats, and they're pretty eye-popping, right? Now, they haven't played a lot of people. I get that. Now, let's go through where I were on that. Let's go through who they played so far and what the scores were, right? They played Central Arkansas, beat them 61-6. They played Kansas, not a bad team, 42-31. They played ULM 52-10. South Carolina, this was a close one, 29-20 when they played South Carolina. Then they played UMass, beat them 42-6. Now, I know a lot of y'all are saying, who's that? Now, South Carolina was pretty good. They're not bad at all. Now, the way I see it is, okay, he's like Pavia at Vandy. You don't want him to run all over you. You don't want the shovel passes and all that nonsense gadget stuff. So defensively, you're going to have to sit there and play gap. Don't believe your eyes. If you have this man, you're covering this man, you cover, and you make his ass quit. Now, I will say this. The reason they're getting and been better on defense, they haven't played a ton of people. I'll give you that, granted. But their defensive line is no joke. They can absolutely rattle a quarterback, and they can get after him. They can get a lot of pressure. Now, the thing is, if Bama's offensive line can give them about 2 seconds, roughly 2.2 seconds to scan the field, their defensive backs are not that good. They're really not. I mean, look, come on now. Kansas, they gave up 31 points to Kansas. You gave up 20 to South Carolina, and almost lost. So even UMass put up 6. So we can move the ball, but the thing is containing that defensive line of Missouri's and allowing Simpson to look downfield to have at least 2.2 seconds. Their D-backs cannot keep up with Alabama's offensive firepower. They just can't. That's a fact. So I do think Bama will win. The thing is, I don't think we should be drinking rat poison and going there just thinking, oh, it's your mama's, 2012 Missouri team. We can just go in there and just run the ball and score 48 points. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a contested game. This is their Super Bowl. This is probably one of the bigger games they're going to play all year. They're coming in fired up. Like I said, it goes back to discipline, still having the chip on your shoulder, playing, if your assignment is A gap and B gap, I don't care what's going on anywhere else. You play A and B. That's it. Very good team. They're very balanced. Bo Pribula is a very good dual threat quarterback, so he can beat you with his arm and his legs. And I feel like from what I've seen of him, it's not like Pavia where if you keep him in that pocket, he really can't beat you with his arm. Bo can do that. Absolutely, he can do that. So don't be fooled thinking, well, we keep him in the pocket. No, we have to play a good game. Keys to the game for me, long sustained drives. I think between Jam Miller and Riley, I think you're going to need 120 yards on the ground. I'm just going to say it. We're going to have to be balanced a little bit. We're going to, even if we don't do great in the first and second half as far as running, you're going to have to punch them in the body. You got to get the body blows in. You got to get them wore out. You got to get them suck and win because that's going to pay dividends in the third and the fourth quarter. That's a fact in SEC football. And especially when you're playing a defensive team like this that can get after you. Do I expect we're going to run all over them first and second quarter? No. But if we can keep them honest and keep them on that field, just to get the clock going, like we'll more than likely score through the air. But if we can keep the clock going and keep the body blows and keep the body blows, third and fourth, we can hit the knockout punch. That's a fact. Like I said, they're no slouch. I know you're thinking, well, they ain't played nobody. Well, I get that. I mean, their resume is not that great. The best team they played out of that whole schedule was South Carolina, and they gave up 20. So, like I said, I think we're going to have a good game tomorrow. The weather is going to be pretty good. I don't think that'll be a factor. But Bama just got to show up again and show out. You know, this is not a walkthrough team. I don't care what anybody says. This is not a give-me team. This is not like a Vanderbilt of 10 years ago. This is not like playing, you know, Central Arkansas at a homecoming and expect to win. Missouri's a good team. You know, they're a very good team. They put together a good coaching staff. They did very well in the portal. But the keys of the game always come down to, can you give Ty Simpson 2.2 seconds? Can you get runs just to keep them honest? Can you do that? And then on defense, you know, like last week, play penalty free. Try to get that ball. Get us in that the pickoff percentage. Get us in there where we get a pick or two. You know, you got to have some of those to keep the ball and the big mo in your court. You got to have the momentum going for us. And I think those are the keys of the game. Like I said, it's another building block. It's not easy. If we come out flat, we could be in trouble. So I know we're more of a second half team, and that's great and wonderful. But we have to come out and play all four quarters because this team's fired up. This would be a feather in their cap if they could beat us. Best game they played just so far and the best team they played so far. But I think it's going to come down to a battle of quarterbacks. And I think also it's going to come down to our offensive line. Can you pass block? Can you give him 2.2 seconds? And I think they can. My prediction for the score, I think it's going to be 34-16, Bama. Like I said, don't drink the rat poison. We got to do all the things. You got to play discipline. Don't believe your eyes. If you got a man or a gap to play, you play that regardless. Till the sun goes down, you play that. Don't get stupid penalties. Long sustained drives. Try to make it at least 10 minutes. Try to have that time of possession heavily in your favor because in the third and fourth quarter, it's done to the data. Because you've body blowed them so much, they're sucking wind. And then if you have those longer drives in the third and fourth, it's over. It's done. Because on the back end, they can't keep up. They know that. Their whole deal is they're pinning their ears back the whole game, all gas, no brakes, and they're going to try to get to the quarterback. So at all costs, we have to protect Ty Simpson against that defensive line. Period. Anyway, guys, it's been real. I'm going to try to hit up in the morning a quick video on the top 25 games and predictions. Anyway, y'all have a great Friday evening, and Ty Talker Web is out.